Welcome back. Chiudiamo? Welcome back. Welcome back from the coffee break. Thank you so much for the coffee. It was much needed. I think we can start with back to the program. I'm Cristina Stefanelli. I work at UniMed as project manager, and I have the great pleasure to work as coordinator of the wonderful Frames project. So the idea for the program now is that I go through quickly the Frame project, what we did, and what is available for you to build upon. And then there will be a panel discussion moderated by Anna Bevan. There will be the lunch. And there are 3 parallel sessions in the afternoon. So you have the opportunity to choose in which parallel session you would like to participate. There are attendance sheets at the welcome desk. So we will see how many participants will be in the different parallel rooms, and then we will decide if we will need to maybe merge some of them, and we will see in the afternoon. Thank you, Siena, University of Siena, for the hospitality, first of all. I would like to say that really, Siena, you went above and beyond expectations, not only for your contribution to the project, but the whole organization. The university is amazing, the city is amazing. It's really a pleasure to be here today. So FRAMES stands for Fostering Resilience Through Accredited Mobility for European Sustainable Higher Education Innovation. It's an Erasmus Plus cooperation partnership funded by the European Union. The project started in March 2021, and it's about to finish officially tomorrow. The project started with this problem statement, the issue of designing and implementing blended mobility schemes that are inclusive and intercultural, and how to integrate and accredit blended mobility activities as a stable component of the academic offer. So what we try to do is to provide a set of outputs and activity to normalize virtual exchange in higher education. So the stated aim for FRAMES is to foster an harmonized implementation and accreditation of blended mobility among European higher education institutions, making the European higher education area more innovative and resilient. As mentioned before, the project is coordinated by UniMed. Wonderful partners are Uni Collaboration, Sharing Perspectives Foundation, the University of Limerick, the University of Girona, and the University of Siena. I have to say that it's been really a great pleasure to work with such a wonderful and super professional and friendly team. So in case you're planning to implement any virtual exchange initiative in your institutions, refer to this team because they're really amazing. We also had associated partners. The Erasmus Student Network is one of the associated partners, also represented today. We produced 4 main outputs. I will go through them quickly. You also have a leaflet with you with the link to the website where the 4 main outputs are available. So the first one is a report on scenarios for the integration of virtual exchange in higher education, which presents 4 main scenarios based on a case analysis. We analyzed 71 cases and 12 were selected and described in the scenario report, where we identified 4 main scenarios. Virtual exchange as a preparatory or follow-up activity to physical mobility, virtual exchange as an intertwined component of physical mobility, virtual exchange as a standalone learning activity, virtual exchange as a component of a course, traditional or online. Of course, those scenarios are only few of the options for the integration of virtual exchange in higher education. There may be more. So this could also be something that we, as a community could build upon, identifying other scenarios. I know the University of Siena would like to work on PhD. There may be options for integrating virtual exchange in internships, in the vet sector. So if anybody of you would like to build upon this report, expanding with new scenarios, that would be really useful. And we had a quite big number of users benefiting from the report, including universities, but also EAIE integrating the report in the trainings that they do, so presenting the scenarios as part of their training. So this is also something that you could consider doing, using the scenarios as training materials. I'm looking at Sarah, who led on the scenario report, to see if I have presented it well, but I think there will be opportunities in the panel discussion to talk about the scenarios more. The second thing we worked on is an online training on virtual exchange. We organized 2 editions, a pilot edition and an open edition in May 2022, aimed at developing capacity to design, implement, assess, and multiply relevant mobility schemes enhanced by virtual exchange. The training was of 4 weeks, 4 hours per week. We had 171 participants, 84 badges awarded, 32 project works, which are like action plans for the integration of virtual exchange, and with an 80% of success rate. This chart presents the pre-training and post-training awareness of the key concepts of virtual exchange. So obviously the course went pretty well. I think it's interesting to see that those who said at the very beginning that they were very familiar with virtual exchange, in the end, they were not anymore. So perhaps also raising awareness on what virtual exchange really is, the differences between virtual mobility and online learning is still very relevant. Few testimonials also, you may find more on the project website. The online training was a good blend of asynchronous and synchronous learning. It was interesting for the participant to know what other institutions are doing at different levels. So still, it's really very important to share practices and initiatives and to have the opportunity to learn more about what others are doing. The third output is a toolkit for integrating virtual exchange in higher education. This activity was led by Sharing Perspectives Foundation, and it's a set of tools, informations, inspiration, stories for higher education staff to create action plans for the integration and recognition and accreditation of virtual exchange within their own institutions. It's a set of cases, tools, so there are worksheets, templates for action plans. There are, I think, 4 podcasts about different topics. There is an interactive website and also a report which is intended for digital use and also a print-friendly version. Those reports and tools are available on the project website. Goes without saying that they are licensed under a CC BY license, so do feel free to use them, readapt them in your context. There are also pretty useful, there is a roadmap, which is pretty interesting, and templates for action plans. The fourth result is a strategic framework for the integration of blended mobility and virtual exchange in higher education institutions. The good news is that the strategic framework is out since yesterday evening, again on the project website. So we tried to define a set of recommendations for higher education leaders and managers, but also for ministries and governments to integrate virtual exchange. There are 5 areas of actions: strategic coordination, human, economic, and IT resources, accreditation and recognition, quality, and sustainability. So the process for defining this was based on a pretty large consultation with stakeholders. I know many of you kindly participated in the consultation. So we published like a draft version on a mini site to collect feedbacks. We collected 70 feedbacks from experts outside the consortium, and 16 experts were involved in the design of this strategic framework. Almost all those results will be available, well, are available in English, but also in Spanish and Italian. So if anybody of you would like to contribute translations in other languages, that would be really very useful. So if you would like to do that, reach out to me and I will be happy to publish your translations as part of our results. We also organized a number of events, many online and others on site. We organized 4 events and we participated in 8 events organized by others. I just mentioned the most memorable one, the IVEC conferences 2021 and 2022, a workshop at the EAIE in 2022. There are plans to be at EAIE 2023. I think the University of Girona will be there, but you can find us also at IVEC 2023. So, well, we will be in many events also after the end of the project. We offered 2 training workshops, which were not planned in the project. However, some universities reached out to us, but also European University Alliances, to offer training workshops related to how to integrate virtual exchange in their activities. So this is still something we could do in the future. So if your university may have an interest in receiving a training workshop like this, we will considering offering other workshops in the future. We published a lot through conferences, and I just wanted to mention a scientific paper published for the International Journal, for the Journal of International Students, which is about the scenarios and for the integration of virtual exchange. So, well, I tried to summarize the main numbers. I wanted to present frames in numbers, so I think these are the main numbers related to the impact of frames so far. Of course, we are really happy about, well, this is a relatively small European funded project, but I have the feeling that we had a pretty good impact in reaching out to others, to train people from different universities throughout Europe. So these are the main numbers, but what is most important is that we tried to create one community of virtual exchange practitioners, stakeholders, focused and committed to make education higher education more international and more intercultural. So I hope that this community will continue in the future, and I'm really happy that you are all part of this. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. I think I'm done with frames in 10 minutes. These are the contact details where you can find the results, and there's also my email address if you want to reach out to me to build upon any of those results. And thank you so much. Over to you, Anna.